Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. For this one, we're going to focus entirely on sizing. We'll talk about what to be aware of with the fit of each hoop shoe that came out in the last year or so. There's a lot to cover. Obviously, the ones that I've never played in, I won't be able to comment on its sizing. And I'll start by going over shoes from each brand to let you know if they fit true to size or you should consider sizing up or down. Then I'll list out some shoes that are ideal for narrow feet, wide feet, so like by width and all that. To give you a reference, my true size is a 10.5 according to the branding device. I have slightly wider feet and very flat feet. Speaking of measurements, a lot of sneaker stores will have a measuring device for you if you need it. And I strongly recommend you to actually measure your feet so that you know your true size better. Because you'll see sizing can get really tricky and it's hard to make it standardized. Different brands tend to have different types of fit. And with that said, even though I'm giving out recommendations, the best way for you to make sure you get the right size will always be trying them on in person. Also, I think a lot of times we tend to forget the importance of the fit. Cushioning, stability, and materials, those can be a huge difference maker. But traction and the fit, these two to me are like basically preliminary requirements. Traction to me is like it either works or doesn't. And if the traction fails on a shoe, I'm sure most of us will just stay away from it. Same thing with the fit, like there's no in between. So I honestly think that sometimes we just focus too much on the technical stuff. But if that shoe isn't right for your foot shape and you simply don't feel comfortable moving your feet around in them, all the other stuff are meaningless, right? As always, I'll try to be as precise as possible. But if you'd like to add your own experience or correct me with something that I said, please feel free to comment down at any time. Also, if you're new here, please consider subscribing as we go over the performance of the newest releases on this channel all the time. Okay, let's first start with Nike and Jordan brand. Whether you like the brand or not, they do offer the greatest variety of basketball shoes in each price range. And to make things easy, sometimes when I talk about a new shoe, I like to just use my size in most Nike sneakers as a reference. So Nike basketball shoes tend to be on the narrow side from my experience, which is kind of unfortunate because they seem to just not care as much about wide footers. Anyways, from the past year, the Nike shoes that fit true to size include some big names in the meta, like the PG6, LeBron 20, Zoom Freak 4, and many other budget shoes too. Because most of them are either average or narrow width, the only shoe that I can think of where you may need to size down is the LeBron Ambassador 13. And technically that shoe came out more than a year ago. But to avoid heel slippage, you can definitely go half a size down in those. The shoes that you definitely need to size up, in my opinion, most notably are the Kyrie's. The Kyrie Infinity is a very snug and tight fit, especially in the toe box. So half size up is a must to me. The Kyrie 8, his last shoe that got canceled by Nike, same thing applies, and they're even a little bit more snug. I've tried on a pair going a full size up, and it's still not too loose. So yeah, in case the Kyrie 8 starts to show up in stores or Nike outlets, go at least a half size up, or even a full size up for those that really hate a snug fit. Cosmic Unity 2, gosh, that's a super tight shoe. The upper presses down on your feet a lot, so to me, true to size simply didn't work. Giannis Immortality 2, a half size up because the midfoot area became tighter compared to the first version. Some things to note, even though the main Kyrie signature shoes, I almost always size up. The Kyrie Low 5 fits true to size based on my experience. The KD 15 is a very narrow fit, but be careful if you want to size up to get more room inside, because heel slippage is already an issue that has been reported by a lot of players. For me, that's not the biggest concern, but I'm just putting it out there. So if you're a wide footer, you may want to just simply pass up on the KDs this year. The LeBron 20, thanks to some of you in the comments, I actually didn't know that different colorways could have been produced in different countries. Like the white debut colorway is made in Vietnam, while some other ones are made in China. From my experience, the pink South Beast colorway with the leather upper and the knit version with the softer upper both fit true to size. If anything, you can consider sizing up with the knit upper ones. They run just a tiny bit smaller. But to be safe, true to size is the best generic option. Alright, now also Nike, the Jordan brand performance basketball shoes, no shoe that you have to size up with. The Whiteout 0.5 is a very wide foot friendly option and had a little bit of heel slippage to me, so I put that as a size down, especially if you need a tight and secure fit. The Jordan 36 and 37 both fit true to size. 37 is a right on true to size, but the 36, again, I've seen some of you say that there was a problem where your pinky toe is hurting, mostly due to the corner of the upper materials. I personally didn't have that problem to begin with, so I'm not entirely sure if sizing up can help with that, but just so you're aware of it. The other ones like the Luka 1, Zion 2, and Zoom Separate are all true to size. To finish the Nike section, Converse has only 2 hoop shoes from the past year. The BB Shift and the BB Prototype are both true to size. The BB Prototype can be a little bit tricky because there's decent room around the midfoot area, but toe box is a snug fit. So just keep that in mind. All right, moving on to Li-Ning Way of Wade. They certainly had a great year when it comes to performance. Sorry that I still haven't got the Jimmy Butler 1 yet, but in general, with their shoes, when in doubt, go half a size up. That applies to the Wild 10, All City 10, Ice Blood V2, 808 2 Ultra. So with the 808 2, I think the best way to choose your size is to go true to size with the regular version and half size up with the Ultra version. You can feel that the regular version gives you more space inside. The Cloud Foam drop-in midsole also is not as dense as the Ultra's Boom drop-in midsole. So that's one thing. The Speed 9 Premium, I suggest true to size because it's just such a typical guard shoe that I think is made for faster and more shifty gameplay. So to stay true to its purpose, I think there's no need to size up. Next brand, I have one that you should definitely be careful with if you haven't played in their shoes much, and that is Adidas. Adidas basketball shoes in general have one common issue, and that is heel slippage. Throughout the early half of last year, they had a great lineup of signature shoes with excellent performance. The Harden Volume 6, Trae Young 1, and Dame 8, but heel slippage, heel slippage, heel slippage. So with all those, I strongly recommend going down a half size from your true size or normal Nike size for the best fit, especially the Dame 8 and Trae Young 1. Otherwise, it might even affect how well they secure your feet inside. So please keep that in mind. On the bright side, they are very waifu friendly. The retros that they did on their classic shoes that Kobe used to wear, like the Crazy 1 and Top 10 2000, those run a little bit big too. So I would also recommend going half a size down. But I do have to say that recently Adidas seems to have been working on fixing this issue. So the down issue 4 fits true to size. Very secure lockdown actually. The padding takes up some space too. The 2 fantastic budget shoes, Dame Certified and Harden Step Back 3, are also true to size. And then they went too hard on the new Trae Young 2. Like literally, the Prime Knit is just not as stretchy. Extremely hard to even put on. So if you want to give it a try, go up a half size. But I don't recommend the Trae Young 2 at all for the lack of comfort. So Adidas in general had quite a few shoes that you need to consider sizing down from my experience. Next up, Under Armour. Let's talk about the Currys. So since the launch of Curry brand, the Curry Flow line has been running small and snug, especially with the toe box fit. And it has to do with the lens too. So going true to size feels a little bit short. For me, my toes would have gone right up to the tip at the front. They have been making improvements with the fit, however. Like the Curry 9 had to go up a half size, but the Curry 10, a true to size does work for me. But again, just to be safe, with the Curry 9 and 10, going up a half size is ideal. And I'll always remember that, like around last year, I recommended the Currys for a friend who was looking for a new pair. And for him, they just simply did not fit. He tried a full size up too, I think, but at that point, length became a problem. So that was also when it made me realize that performance-wise, the Currys are a top 5, no-brainer. But the shoe can be picky when it comes to your foot shape. So people with really wide feet, probably not. But if you have flat feet like I do, the Curry 10 gave me amazing comfort for extended runs. Oh, and when it comes to the Flowtros, like I said, Under Armour has been adjusting the fit, I feel like. The Curry 4 Flowtro and Curry 1 Low Flowtro are both true to size. Both nice and lightweight shoes, by the way. The other ones I tested last year and their newer releases are mostly true to size as well. Oh, and Lockdown 6. Man, that's a perfect budget shoe with no weakness. I'll talk about those very soon in another video. Okay, a brand that I personally like a lot. New Balance hasn't really been making a lot of performance basketball shoes, but when they did it well. It's basically just the 2A V2 and V3 and the Kawhi 2. They all fit true to size. No heel slippage, extra tightness, anything like that. From Puma, one shoe that you should consider going down a half size with is the Playmaker Pro. This is one of their newest budget models, below $100. Very soft upper, almost too soft. And I went true to size, but it's a little bit loose. Not the most secure lockdown for sure, so yeah. Otherwise, like the MB2 and MB1, Court riders, TRC Blaze Court, those are all true to size. And I can't really think of one that you must size up with. If anything, maybe the MB2, because compared to the first version, it's a little bit tighter, but that's it. Obviously, I won't be able to cover every single shoe from every brand. But other than that, Anta shoes typically fit true to size. Like the most recent KT8 and most of my previous older Anta shoes. Peak is a really weird one when it comes to sizing. Their basketball shoes, I need to go down 1.5 size. Yes, you heard that right. That's down a full size and a half. So like Nike, I wear a 10.5. In Peak, a size 9 can fit me. Or at least down a full size. So 9.5 instead of my normal 10.5. I am getting the Andrew Wiggins signature shoe, so I'll see if that's still the case. 361, I only have the AG1 Pro, basically true to size. I am getting their Spencer Dinwiddie signature shoe as well, the DVD1, so stay tuned for that, I guess. Now, if I was to list out a few good options for different foot shapes or types of feet, for players with narrow feet, you'll most likely enjoy playing in shoes like the KD15, GT Cut 2, Kyrie 8, and Curry 10. For those with wide feet, when in doubt, go with Adidas. Dame 8, Harden Volume 6, and Trae Young 1 are good choices. The Puma Court Rider 2 is also very wide foot friendly. Wade 808-2, the regular version, is for sure good to go as well. If you have flat feet, I still doubt if anyone has flatter feet than I do. Like, we're talking one loop around the shopping mall, I'm sore. That type of deal, you know? Yeah, so you wouldn't want a shoe that squeezes your feet too much, so it causes soreness quickly. You'd also want to avoid those that are too bouncy or have too much arch support, like the GT Jump, and LeBron 20 is kind of okay for flat feet, but not the best. In that case, I suggest the PG6, Harden Volume 6, 2A V2 and V3, MB2, also the Kawhi 2. They all have decent comfort for flat feet. The Curry 10, even though it might not work for wide feet, but for my flat feet, I felt really comfortable playing in them. If you have a high instep or high volume feet, shoes like the Trae Young 2 might just be terrible for you. The Dame 8 is very forgiving in that regard. The Hover Havoc 5 is also a very underrated shoe when it comes to both overall performance and how the clone upper wraps around your feet. So I strongly recommend giving those a try. If you have a high arch, your options are probably broader than people like myself. The LeBron 20, for example, should be fantastic, as it usually is. And as you can tell in this video, we focus on the shoes themselves only. Obviously, you can use support insoles and all that, but that's a different story. So that's it for this video, all the important things that I wanted to talk about with sizing. Once again, finding the right fit isn't hard, but finding the absolute best fit can be difficult. And I just hope that this information can help a little bit when you're considering different shoes from the past year. Let me know any thoughts you have about any of the shoes mentioned. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.